Good evening, everyone. I thought it was about time that we had another fireside chat, but this time I figured we ought to have a fire. And so tonight we are. It's a perfect night for a fire, and also a perfect night, I thought, to touch base again and give you a few announcements, first of all, and then also give you a quick encouraging devotional thought. First of all, I wanted to say a big thank you to each and every one of you that participated in our prayer and fast time at noon today. I know that there was pretty short notice on having that happen, but I know that a number of you joined us for that, and you downloaded the prayer list that we had on the email, and I greatly appreciate all the prayers that you offered during that time of fasting and prayer, and the prayers that you've been offering all along for the situation we're in, and for our church family, and for those around our country that really need our prayers, like the families that have lost loved ones or the healthcare workers that are working around the clock. I greatly appreciate your prayers. Wanted to let you know that if you do have a prayer request that you want to offer and have folks in the church be praying about it, please know that on the front page of our website, www.rchog.org, Kristen has provided a quick little link, a place where you just click here. It takes you to a email form that you can quickly fill out. It sends that email to the church, and then we will get that on our prayer list and put those out as we move forward. I also wanted to thank those of you who have been faithfully giving your gifts and tithes to the church. This is a pretty unique time. We've never experienced this before. And I want to thank many of you who've been asking, how could you continue to give to the ministry of the church? Because by and large, the costs and everything associated with operating our church really haven't changed, even though our regular meetings have. So for those of you that have continued to give, I want to thank you so very much. If you would like to continue to do so, we've actually made a new opportunity available. When you go to our website, again, www.rchog.org, Kristen has put a new link or a new tab on the top of the homepage that says Give. And you can just click on that tab, and it will take you to a form that you can fill out, and you could give to the ministry of our church that way. Or, to be quite honest, the easiest, maybe, and best way to continue to support the ministry of our church is to just mail in a check. We don't have a P.O. box. It's just 2191 Birch Avenue in Reedsport. If you can do that, we would greatly appreciate that. We have unfortunately seen giving and the funds of this past month go below normal, but God is faithful. We're going to be just fine. And so if you'd like to continue to do that, we would greatly appreciate that. And then also just wanted to say, if you have recently had the opportunity to connect with our church, maybe because of the online sermons or any of these devotions that we've been providing, and you'd like to kind of start being a part of our church, or maybe just at least getting a little more information, you can always go to our website. And if you would like to get the emails that we send out a couple of times a week, including the one on Sunday morning, reminding you and giving you all the links on how to connect with our sermon, you can just email our church office at info@rchog.org, and just say that you'd like to be on our email distribution list, and we will get you put on there so that you can get those emails and you can get connected with our church. If you've started listening to our messages or our devotions, or maybe you've connected with Lindsay's devotions that she's been doing for our youth, or maybe your children have been watching the Sunday morning live videos that Yost and Cameron have been doing, we're glad that you are connecting with our church. We hope when all this is over, maybe you would come and visit us and you'd be a new member of our church family. Well, let me get to our devotion for tonight. I wanted to talk about a topic that, again, we've kind of been talking about, just the overall idea of what's going to be our perspective during this time. It's very easy to get a negative perspective, especially if you're watching the news all the time, or if you're just in your own head worrying about the events. It's very easy to get negative. And I wanted to challenge us tonight to think about that. If God is truly sovereign, if you trust the Lord with all of your heart and you believe that He is good, then God will bring good out of every circumstance, including this situation. I want to share a story with you tonight that I read years and years ago that I really appreciate and enjoy, and I think really puts into perspective what I'm talking about here. It says, the story is told of a king in Africa who had a close friend with whom he grew up. The friend had a habit of looking at every situation that ever occurred in his life, positive or negative, and remarking, "This is good." One day the king and his friend were out on a hunting expedition. The friend would load and prepare the guns for the king. The friend had apparently done something wrong in preparing one of the guns, for after taking the gun from his friend, the king fired it and his thumb was blown off. Examining the situation, the friend remarked as usual, "This is good." To which the king replied, "No, this is not good," and proceeded to send his friend to jail. Well, about a year later, the king was hunting in an area that he should have known to stay clear of. Cannibals captured him and took him to their village. They tied his hands, stacked some wood, set up a stake, and bound him to the stake. As they came near to set fire to the wood, they noticed that the king was missing a thumb. Being superstitious, they never ate anyone who was less than whole. So untying the king, they sent him on his way. As he returned home, he was reminded of the event that had taken his thumb and felt remorse for his treatment of his friend. He immediately went to the jail to speak with his friend and said, "You were right. It was good that my thumb was blown off." And he proceeded to tell the friend all that had just happened. "And so, I am very sorry for sending you to jail for so long. It was bad for me to do this." "No," his friend replied, "this is good." "What do you mean this is good? How could it be good that I sent my friend to jail for a year? If I had not been in jail, I would have been with you." I think that is a cute little story that puts things into perspective, that if we will look for the good in all things, for those who trust the Lord, good can come of this. Now, I'm not saying that this situation is good. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the families that are being directly affected by this disease, those that are losing family members, that's not good. The stress that this is putting under our country and many people around the world, that's not good. But again, we serve a good God. Let me share a verse with you. It is Psalm 31, verse 19. It says, "How great is the goodness you have stored up for those who fear you. You lavish it on those who come to you for protection, blessing them before the watching world." I think the key there is the word fear, for those who fear the Lord. And we've talked about this a lot over the years, that the word fear in the scripture often refers to a respect, an honor that is due God. I think we ought to be comfortable with this concept of fearing the Lord, for the Bible over and over says that fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And if we choose to fear, respect, and honor our God and trust Him in every situation, He is going to bring good out of this. We may never know, and probably won't on this side of eternity, all of the good things that we may be kept from because we are not out in our normal routines. There are many, many things that I'm sure that we could stop and think about that may be happening that are good because of this situation that we would have never chosen for ourselves. So my encouragement for you today is to trust God. Trust Him no matter what the situation, and expect for Him to do something good through it, whether you see it today or in eternity. I hope everything is going well for your family. If not, please let us know. We'd like to be able to help any possible way that we can. And again, you can reach out by calling the church office, 541-271-3928, or you can email the church at info@rchog.org. Again, I'm praying for you. Your church staff is praying for you. And we hope you're doing well. We'll talk to you soon. God bless. Good night.